Just pray with me. Just pray with me, Anthony.
I'm
Okay?
not. I'm
So,
not.
dear
Shayla,
Heavenly Father,
Shayla, stop. All right, just stop. Now, I came here to pick up my son, and I thought you were going to be my peace. But right now, what you're doing is really toxic.
toxic.
So before we even get into this, they had this the Art of Dialogue YouTube channel, great YouTube channel. They always bring on a lot of great interviews. They had Clayton Howard on there, which was one of those key witnesses that they didn't call in the whole Diddy trial, and he begins to tell you his story of how much Cassie really controlled the board. Don't leave, guys. Don't leave. Don't hold on. It's fine. I'm sure you're not going to get too many baby oil parts to the whole thing. I just wanted to kind of give you just some of the clips so you kind of could get an idea to see exactly how deep this actually was, just like how the Anthony and Shayla story is. Let's go.
She goes into the room. She comes out quick. She shows me like a purple e-pill, thick e-pill too. And I said, "What's that?" She said, "It's ecstasy." She starts breaking it down to me, and I'll be honest. At first, I was resistant. I'm like, "Nah, don't take that. I'm good." But you know, it's like what they say. Most men who do hard drugs, a woman introduces them to them.
I don't think they're talking about marijuana and those things. They're talking about like cocaine and the methamphetamine and those kind of drugs. Because those drugs, I think, a woman introducing that to you, you're more likely to kind of fall to it because in your mind, you're gonna get some pum pum for the night and say, hey, this is gonna be very, very special and we're gonna do all of these various things. So yes, this actually, can somewhat ring home true. I can do a little bit more on it, but yes, it generally is. A woman will generally turn you on to these big gateway drugs. I have friends who have admitted to that as well too.
A woman opens you up to it under the promise of sex or something that's going to give you a benefit for trying this substance. It is true. So basically, Cassie tells me that if I take a little bit of this substance with her, the sex is going to be amazing. It's going to go from like 1 to a 10. During the course of this sex, I believe it was sometime during the night, we were involved in the encounter. So, I'm stroking her. It's hot. She's into it. She pushes my abdomen up, reaches, rolls off the condom, and pulls me in her real quick. Bro, like, you date women. I'm pretty sure you've been in a situation where shorty hit you with the wham-wham real quick before you knew it. You in her. You don't know what the hell is going on, but it's so good, you don't come out because
That's true. All right, hold on. As I said before, we'd have to break this down. So what you're seeing happening here is, in case you're not following the story, this is the guy. This is one of the guys that they actually paid. They paid this guy to come there. Cassie handpicked this particular guy. She liked him. She felt that his package was the right package that she was looking for, and so because of that, she paid this particular guy to come to satisfy her. Diddy was okay with all of this as well. So that's exactly where this was. You know what I mean? She was the person who actually handpicked this guy. And as he's mentioning to you, this has now gone from just, hey, you're paying me for whatever it is for some protected sex to now it becoming unprotected sex. Who knows what she might have had in the entire time. An STD, something. You know what I mean? She could get pregnant, so many things. And I think she did actually get pregnant as well too, based on the other parts of the interview, which you can watch on the Art of Dialogue YouTube channel. But let's keep going.
like we know how we are as men. Once you get inside like that, it weakens us. It's like kryptonite to a man. What snapped me back into the encounter was Diddy himself actually asking Cassie specifically, like, yo, you fucking him raw now? Both of us look up. She's looking me in the eye. I'm looking at her like, I'm waiting for her to say something because this is your dude and it was your idea. So what you waiting for me to say something? She tells him like, oh, I checked this paperwork. It's all good. And that bothered me because, I still thought they were in a monogamous relationship. So immediately to me, someone with some intelligence, the first red flag was, why would this woman lie to her man about seeing my STD result?
Because as far as she's concerned, she doesn't care really and truly. Diddy is her man, but as far as she's concerned, she's getting that work, and if she's gonna get that work, she's gonna get the work the way that she actually wants that particular work. It's so interesting, you know what I mean? When we dig deep dive into it, I'm telling you, when I watch this case, and I keep saying to people, when I looked at this case, and I talk about it so many times, when I looked at the case at first glance, it looks like this is a beautiful girl who was being, manipulated, who was being, run over by this particular man. If y'all watch the Kountry channel and you watch the Shayla and Anthony and Amber's story, you'll see it looks like, Shayla was bamboozled by Anthony, forgetting actually that, she wasn't really, no, she actually did her unprotected sex with him, even though she had a man at the same point in time, and it didn't matter which other man she got, she still did her own thing because, hey, that's what she was looking for. And so when the baby time comes, guess what? He's the one that gets the baby. It's as simple as that.
The next time I see Cassie, I'd rather be safe rather than sorry. I pull out a condom. She says, what's up? And I said, we never know what could happen. I know you said you're on the pill. I got a girlfriend, we got to be careful. She says, all right. Diddy sees the condom. He said, yo, bro, what's that for? Like, you already done had sex with a raw. You really want to put a condom on? I said, yeah, I got a girlfriend and we got to be careful. So Cassie throws the ball on me. Like, I didn't have a problem without the condom. He wants the condom. So now she throws me under the bus and puts it on me. Diddy comes back at me like, yo, bro, you don't think my girl's JJ clean? Like, what's
Exactly. She's manipulated the board again. So in other words, even though, even if Diddy may have thought that, hey, it's true, no, if he gonna hit it, let him hit it with a condom. No, she's come back with that, making it now seem as though like, hey, what's wrong with me? Why you did it before, so why can't you do it again? I want y'all just to watch exactly how she's just playing the board. She was just playing the board. And I kept saying this, while I understand the DV portions of it, because of course that's the only part people ring at, when I watch the comments, especially on Facebook or any platform at all, when they talk about the case, the only thing that I find that women ring at is the DV. They don't talk about the other parts into this entire thing, but there's so many layers. The amount of layers when you peel it back, it gives you a sore eye. It's almost like you're peeling an onion.
With you, I done blessed you and let you hit raw already, and now you're gonna reject it. She's looking at me, he's looking at me. Peer pressure is real, bro. So Cassie happens to call me this weekend. She's like, yo, are you available? Come to LA. I'm like, baby, I can't. It's my anniversary with my real girlfriend, this is my real life. I gotta stay here. She flips on me. What the hell are you talking about? We made a deal a couple of years ago that you were exclusively for me. This is monogamous. You're supposed to be available when I call you. She's pissed. So I'm confused, bro, because you got a whole man. What?
Exactly. Exactly. You'd have thought that normally when they bring like an extra person in a bedroom, to what I get to understand of swingers, I've never done it before, but my understanding of it is that you bring someone in your bedroom to spice up whatever you have going on. So you don't want it plain old plain Jane, and it becomes like, hey, we'll spice it up. It's almost like you're putting salt, in your pot. You're cooking and you put some salt in there. Hey, you're not gonna dose it with salt, essentially, so the pot is all salty. No, you're gonna put pinches of salt so that way, it gives it some flavor and some spice. But if you notice what's going on, she has some way somehow find this. She's made this into her own thing. In other words, this is past whatever was going on. This is past the whole idea of it being flavor and it just being like, little one nights here and there. This guy was just the guy putting in the work. And I think based on what he mentioned in one of my previous videos that I talked about, I think he was like doing like, I think it was like $5,000 per session. That's what he was doing. $5,000 per session. So yeah, he was making crazy dough just to kind of get this going. Just to be hitting Cassie, that's what he was making. And she was just manipulating her way into it again and again. This should have been just a regular. Imagine me as a guy going in, and I'm going in raw with, an OnlyFans girl or some other girl or whatever else it is. I would have been deemed as careless. That's what you would have said. You'd have said, O'Neal, you're very, very careless. You're a dirty guy, whatever it is. But no, she never got that flag. She never got that flag. The internet did not flag her just like that. Instead, they're like, oh, well, hey, poor Cassie, oh my gosh, oh wow, she's been abused and she does deserve all of this, and look at happiness and look at God, and all of that comes in. All of that.
The hell are you mad at me for going in with my girlfriend that you know about, that I've been dating 4 or 5 years? We start having sex, whatever. As a man, when you're inside of a woman, it really doesn't, I can't say it doesn't matter how it feels, but it's a different feeling. It's kind of debilitating. Let's just be honest as men. It's a little debilitating. It's kind of like kryptonite. So I want to get up, but I can't because I'm actually having sex. And it's like, oh my God, wait a minute. I want to get up, but I can't. So she comes quick. Oh my God, she comes. When she comes, I feel her body weaken. So I take her, push her off,
Mm-hmm.
roll over, and they had some touch lamps, I remember, to the left of me on the nightstand, and I touched the touch lamp 3 times real quick. Yo, bro, it's blood everywhere because she's
Wow.
basically in my face, like telling me, go F myself. Men have sex with women all the time. Like, what's the big deal? She's discounting the fact that she forced herself on me on her menstrual cycle, which is technically assault.
So hold on. Let's stop on this. Imagine if this was like the roles were reversed and he was the one that was, you know what I mean, like it was a girl in other words, and then he was the one actually doing this to a woman. This would have been a whole different story. That's why I said that this is like the turn of events that have come into this have been so tricky, and it just points out the double standard that you actually have. Ladies, counter to what you actually think. Men are taken advantage of all the time. That's the funny thing. As much as women like to make it seem as though, you know, because they give you, oh, guys are cheaters, guys are this, and guys are that, and guys are not good. No, you have girls out there who are willing, a lot of them as well too, to have this going on, as pretty as they may come. You would think, and it's not like a girl like Cassie is gonna get the pick of the litter. A guy's gonna get a girl like Cassie just to take care of her because he just wants no one else to have her, and he wants to have her for himself, and it's for a show to have as arm candy. She's gonna be that type of girl. But you could tell, based on this guy's talking, you can tell like she was a different kind of girl. She was up to something else, and she was very much over sexualized, which is quite interesting coming from a 2-parent home. I'm not certain where she got it from. Maybe she was watching a couple tapes in her younger years. I don't know what it is, but she is over sexualized. You can tell. I don't know what has happened or what has sparked her interest in that era, but something is going on.
Diddy goes in the room. They may be in there for 2 or 3 minutes. He comes back out, and he looks me directly in the face. He says, "Yo, bro, listen, I'm sorry." He said she knew she was on her period. She wanted to have sex. We just came back from an event. She's mad drunk. She's mad horny. He said, "Yo, bro, she should have told you and gave you the option to do that. She was."
So in other words, hold on. So in other words, she's kind of just treating him just like a slave, essentially. You know, all I'm saying is every single time I listen to the story of the other people involved in the entire fiasco and the entire thing, you just get a different perception every single solitary time. Like you no longer can sit down and just be doing as a woman in yourself. Truthfully, you can't truthfully be sitting down and be giving me that you have the same mind. If you do, I think you're just double standard and hypocritical at this point in time. That's my belief. I'm gonna stand on that. I'm gonna stand on morally you're just not there. Again, while I understand, punish Diddy for the DV, but I barely hear women chiming in and coming on and talking really and truly about how far she actually went and the things that she actually did. But hey, that's the world for you. That is the world. Women almost can do no wrong.
Oh. So I look over at her, and she's just sitting there like this against the wall, like leaning against the wall, but she's not saying anything. So I'm waiting for her to apologize, which she never does. She knew she was on her period. She basically confirms the fact that she knew she was on her period. She was drunk, and that she intentionally violated both of me because I never knew she was on her period. She never told me. And then when I actually find out, she tried to discount me, like the fact that I was offended because I felt insulted didn't matter because she was paying me for sex. And I guess she figured that I didn't matter as a person.
In terms of like, I know for sure I'll be watching with any other like of those revelations or any other cases that come forward like to the media, because of course after the Diddy and Cassie thing, you realize that you definitely can't judge like a book by its cover. Because you'd see a girl like Cassie and you'd really and truly believe that like she was this nice, saint, soft, sweet girl who never did anything at all, and you know, who never deserved any of the things that she has had, and you know, you'd get that impression. You would get that impression. But it's clear that it's way more than just that. There is way more than actually meets the eye, and that's just how guys get tricked. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's how sometimes us guys get tricked, because it's girl like a Cassie who will present themselves in this manner, but there's something else behind that, and it happens more often than y'all think. I made a video about red flags on the channel. Go watch that. And I told y'all men ignore red signs all the time. All the time. But that's just what it is. That is exactly just what it is. Well, hey guys, let me know what y'all think. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all saw the case. Let me know what y'all think. And was Cassie the master chess player? Was she the master manipulator? I want y'all to mute the DV for a little bit, because we already got that little piece. Was she the master manipulator? Let me know what you think. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Talk to y'all soon.